For the traveling feature reporter, this town is a gold mine. Thanks to the locals, who mine something else entirely.
The casual passerby through Sopchoppy, Florida, would surely think he'd taken leave of his senses. But no, he's just doing what a lot of people do around Sopchoppy, grunting for worms.
When Kuralt discovered the Sopchoppy worm grunters nearly 40 years ago, he thought it had to be a trick.
We'd never have believed it if we hadn't seen it.
Same with me.
1, 2, 3.
And those weren't here all along?
No, I just seen them come up.
Meet Gary Revel.
Why would I tell you different?
He's one of the few people left who still collects worms the odd-fashioned way. Gary says, for earthworms here in the Florida Panhandle, the vibration of metal on wood feels exactly like a mole digging. And since moles eat worms, the worms instinctively low-tail it to higher ground, where they're then collected and sold as fish bait.
There's the product.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Since Charles Kuralt first introduced worm grunting to America, the people of Sopchoppy have started an annual worm grunting festival. The kids compete in grunting competitions, while the adults relive Kuralt's original story.
Can people actually make a living at this?
I do.
And it's not a bad living.
Ironically, his story wasn't very well received at first.
A couple $100 a week is not an unusual income.
Grunters groaned that he gave too much financial information.
It's big business.
Among the many people watching Kuralt's story that night were some government bureaucrats, agents from both the Internal Revenue Service and the U.S. Forest Service. Within weeks, the Sopchoppy worm grunters were both taxed and regulated. What can you make a year doing this?
Today,
It's hard to predict.
worm grunters are much more media savvy, keenly avoiding that whole can of worms.
This is mine and my family's way of making our little bit of grub, and we're happy.
Therefore, do not scoff at worm grunting. After all, you probably thought that the way to get worms is with a shovel. Ha! Shovels are for kids and amateurs.
And others who are afraid of getting audited.
Worm grunters say this is an especially tough time for them because of the economy. People are fishing less.
But I didn't think it was going to be an interesting piece when I heard about it.
Thank you, Katie.
But it really was interesting, and it would make a great science project for kids all over the country.
Vanderbilt studied it, and that's how they came up with that mole theory.
Interesting.